There's this anime called Bocchi the Rock. As a rocker, I couldn't get past it. This story is about Hitori Goto, a modest and reserved girl. Ever since she was a little girl, she was lonely, no friends, no hobbies, and lived like that until she saw a TV program with a rock band on it. One band member said he was lonely too, but the rock band changed everything. In a band, even a loner can shine. Hitori was very inspired by this statement, and she quickly ran to get her father's guitar. The plan was solid. She decided to learn to play the guitar, form a rock band, perform at school, and make lots of friends. She practiced for 3 years for 6 hours, learned to play the guitar, but did not put together a band, perform at a festival, or make many friends. After all, to make friends lacked one small point: is the ability to communicate with people. It wasn't enough to walk around with a guitar, to wear badges, to put her favorite music CDs on display for someone to be interested in her. She even ordered songs from her favorite bands on the school radio, but no one appreciated them. It's pretty funny to see her catching flashbacks and feeling Spanish shame and trying to beat it out of herself. It's familiar to me. Also, Hitori has a YouTube channel with 30,000 subscribers, where she uploads her covers. It's a small channel by YouTube standards, but it's much more than I have. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, maybe someday I can overtake Hitori. But still, dragging my guitar with me everywhere paid off, and a girl who was having problems in the band noticed her. They had a club gig coming up, but the guitarist had run away. And here came the Hitori stardom, which she had been replaying in her dreams time after time, a big stage with a crowd of fans and her. But the reality is full of disappointment because their scene is in a club in the basement. What did she want? Who would invite an unknown guitarist to the big stage? But she liked the atmosphere in the club, and it was cozy for her. So let's start rehearsing. Since Hitori has a lot of positive comments on her YouTube channel, she got a little cocky and thought that everyone would be impressed by her guitar playing. But she only played solo, and playing in a band is a team effort. So the first batch was terrible, which hit Hitori's self-esteem hard. It was time for the show. But Hitori was gripped by stage fright. They got out of the situation by shoving her in a box. I wish I had thought of that at my first performance. That's how they played their first concert. The next day, the newly minted group gathered to get to know each other better. Ijichi, a very kind and helpful girl. Ryu is a loner, just like Hitori. Except there's a big difference between them. Between the one who chose the path of loneliness and the one who was just lonely. Then came a conversation about quotas. She was explained how it works, that each group must bring a certain number of people to fill the quota, and if fewer people come, they will pay out of pocket for the costs of the club. And a scary thing opens up for Hitori. In order to perform at the club, she has to work. For her, as an introvert, this is very unbearable. Hitori is determined to give up her job, but because she is withdrawn, she says yes instead of no. On her first day at work, she meets the manager and immediately demonstrates her communication skills, and she also learns that the manager of the club is the sister of the drummer. Well, the first day at work was very hard. For someone who can't look into another person's eyes to serve customers is brutal. But nevertheless, Hitori gathers her strength and decides to serve the client properly and grow as a person. But it's just a small step to the top of the road. Now the most important thing left to do for the band is to find a vocalist. Of all the band members, the vocalist is surprisingly found by Hitori. That's the girl who can't communicate with people. But as it turned out, Hitori found the same runaway guitarist who didn't show up for the concert. Kita is the name of the runaway guitarist, and she told her that she didn't really know how to play, so she skipped all the rehearsals, and when the day of the concert came, she couldn't admit it and ran away. To make amends, Kita stays to help out at the club. Cheerful Kita trumps the withdrawn Hitori at work. This makes Hitori very uncomfortable, and frankly, she often underestimates her own self-esteem. Over the bar, Kita tells her that she saw Ryu performing on the street and it captivated her heart, and when she found out that she left her band and is starting a new one, she decided to join without a second thought, lying about how she can play the guitar. After she let the band down, she can't go back in, but eventually the girls forgive her and the band has a new member. Kita, even though she studied hard, could not master the guitar, and the reason is that she bought a 6-string bass instead of a regular electric guitar. Ryu helps out by lending her guitar and buying back the 6-string bass, but she says it's the last money and she has to eat grass for a month. No one knows if she's joking or not. At the band meeting they discussed important questions, what the new merch will be, about social networking, and also that Hitori was responsible for writing the lyrics. Hitoria had a very difficult task, because you have to write a song that can be sung by a cheerful Kita. Hitoria had depressing songs all the time. It would be strange for a cheerful girl to sing depressing songs. Hitori decided to write similar lyrics to popular songs. Ryu was the one who checked the lyrics, and she rejected the song because the reason she left the last band was because the last band decided to go with the hype wave and not with the creative path. Hitori admits that all of her lyrics are depressing and it would be strange to sing them by Keita. Raya says that it's not a bad thing and might become the band's thing, as long as it's from the heart. It was decided to collect promo materials for the band, to put it simply, to take pictures. Hitori more or less coped with this task, but by the end she was losing her strength, and when it came to starting her own Instagram it completely broke her. The promo is there, the lyrics are there, the music is there, all that's left is to perform. But there is a catch. The manager said that the last performance was an exception to the rule and now in order for them to perform they need to audition. They rehearsed diligently, and the moment of truth came, audition time. At the audition they all tried their best to play their best, but the manager criticized their performance, but they passed nevertheless. But it was time for a quota. It was necessary to gather 5 people. The number is small, but for someone who is alone it is not feasible. She sold a couple of tickets to her parents, but there were still 3 tickets left. She drew handwritten flyers to hand out on the street. Then a rocker girl came in with the worst hangover. She asked for something for her hangover and something to eat. Hitori brought her food and hangover remedies. In the course of the conversation she told her what she needed to meet her quota. The rocker wanted to repay the good for the good. She called to bring a combo to organize a street concert to sell tickets. Performing on the street was a new experience for Hitori. After the performance, she sold 2 tickets to the girls, and the 3rd ticket was bought by the rocker girl. Kita and Ejichi came to Hitori's house to create t-shirts with their merch. Hitoria was really looking forward to the girls' visit and had been preparing for the event for days. Her parents didn't even believe that her friends were real. They thought it was imaginary friends coming, and then they directly asked if they were hired friends. Why do parents like to cause shame in their children? But actually goth parents are very good. In the end, they were there having fun, watching movies, changing Hitori's clothes, and never came up with a design. Well, Ejichi came up with her own design for the t-shirt a long time ago. The day of the concert came. Only the girls were unlucky. It was raining heavily and not many people came to the hall. But 3 people whom Hitoria had sold tickets to came. They were a rocker and 2 female fans. The girls were in bad spirits. They played the first song somehow. Everyone screwed up in his own way. Well, it's understandable, the first concert after all, and it's not a good start. But Hitoria took her courage and clobbered her solo to inspire the girls, and it worked. The next 2 songs went well. After this concert, go out to celebrate. There in the beer house, had fun and drank. If anything, the girls drank non-alcoholic. Raya recognized the alco rocker and told how her concerts go. What crazy is not the word. Ejichi went out to get some fresh air, and Hitori decided to check on her. The drummer tells her that she recognizes Hitori as Guitar Hero. Hitoria asks if she's disappointed in her, but Ejichi says she's glad she is, because she's really a hero, having saved the band twice already. Summer is coming to an end, vacations are ending, and school is coming up. Hitoria wanted to spend time with the group, but she didn't have the courage to call them herself, so she waited for them to call her out. And it was the last day of vacation, but no one called her. And in the end Hitori withdrew into herself as usual. The girls realized that no one ever went out with Hitori like that. They took her out to the beach there for a walk to see the local sights. The only thing left in the walk was to get a memorable episode, and they got it. Hitori was attacked by kites and then went back to their homes. Here comes school. Hitori learns that she can perform at the festival. Initially, she thought that she had outgrown the school concerts and there was no need to perform there. But on the fly she filled out an application and almost sent it. But when she saw she wanted to put it in, she started beating the crap out of herself. So much so that she ended up in the nurse's station. She was checked out by Kita. Hitori didn't want her to see the application, or she would definitely want to perform. When she arrives at work, she consults with the supervisor about whether they should perform at the school festival. The manager says that if in doubt, it is definitely worth it. School is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Ru and Ajichi came along, and they supported the idea of the concert. But the main thing was that she was okay with it. Hitori weighed up the pros and cons and decided that she shouldn't draw attention to herself. It's better to keep quiet at school, and when fame reaches her, it will shock everyone. But then Kita catches up with her and tells her that she sent the application in her place. After all, she mistook the trash can for the student council trash can, which leaves Hitori in exorbitant shock. While Hitori is recovering from her impending horror, a rocker girl comes into the club and decides to inspire Hitori with her performance at the club. Hitori was so impressed with the rocker's performance that she began to wonder if she would ever be able to perform like that on stage. Kikuri is the name of the rocker. She says that she used to be reserved to and to perform for the first time she drank for courage. But Hitoria was able to perform without any alcohol both on the street and in the club. So she already has a lot of potential. On the way back, Kita admits to Hitori that she knew perfectly well that she had thrown out the application, but she sent it anyway. But Hitori is grateful to Kita because she was initially very scared, but now she is very much looking forward to the concert. It was the first day of the festival, and the performance was not until the second day. So the girls walked around the school, attended various events, and even acted as maids in Hitori's class. So the day of the show came. They played the first song well, but there was a problem on the second song. Hitori's guitar stopped holding the pegs, and the string broke, too. She grabbed an empty can and used it as a slide and played the solo. Kita spontaneously decided to have Hitori say a few words on stage, but an introvert should be prepared for this in advance. Hitoria wants to do something cool to please everyone, so she comes up with nothing better than to jump into the crowd. Naturally, no one picked her up and she just flopped to the floor. The third song was not meant to be played. It was time to buy a new guitar. There was no money problem as it turned out, because her YouTube channel was on her parents' account, and they secretly hooked up monetization. Going to the store for a new electric guitar was another challenge for Hitori. That's the end of the anime. In my opinion, this is a pretty cool anime, and the humor is good too. So I recommend you to watch it if you haven't. I'll say goodbye to you all and good luck.